You made a video on your J Fingers YouTube channel entitled Why My Latest Screenplay Rejection is Actually a Good Thing. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So that was when I had first started querying. I was sitting out Potter's Field, actually. And in setting that out, I was just nervous. This was going out with the log line, um, the script that I'd worked on for a very long time. I put my heart and soul into. I was really nervous about the type of reception that I would get. And so I was pleased to get a response from a manager. And that response was a rejection. But the thing about it was it made me realize that, okay, the log line worked because he read the email and he read the log line, and in his response referenced, the script, and, explained why it wasn't for him. The other thing was that, well, my name, as we've, talked about, it's memorable. And even though he passed on the script, my name is now like on his mind. It might be in the back of his mind, but it's seen it. It's come across, his screen. He knows who J Fingers is. I'm very sure that if he sees my name again, he'll think back, because it's an easy name to remember. So I'm sure that he'll think back on that. So that's why I took that rejection as a positive thing. You got to take the positives from the rejections and everything that could be perceived as negative. That's why I was really happy with that. It's just like, okay, I'm doing something right. Let me adjust, but still stay on this same path.
Have you always looked at things like that? Or is this a new J Fingers?
I've always tried to look at the positive. It gets difficult sometimes, but I do always try to remain positive. Sometimes it takes time for me to realize that, oh, okay, that was a positive. I shouldn't have been upset about that because things worked out in a completely different way, or I was shielded from something that would have been, even more disastrous. So I'm working on that. I'm working on trying to remain positive in all things.
Why do you believe you can sell a screenplay?
Simply because I can. I honestly believe that, I've got the talent. I honestly believe that I've got the work ethic. I think that I'm the type of person that people would want to work with. They say that that's a very, very big thing. People would rather work with an okay writer who's a joy to be around, as opposed to, like a stellar writer that's a pain in the ass. I feel that I would like to think that I'm a joy to be around. So there's that. But I just believe I can do it. I believe I can do it. And I've seen, so many people succeed. I just feel that the opportunity is there for so many of us. Like it's there for so many of us. So I count myself in that, among that number.
And with the 3 books that you held up previously that are on Amazon, how long did it take you to complete each one of those?
I would say maybe about a year and a half.
Oh, for each one? Okay.
Yeah. Because it's the outlining and it's the actual writing. 2 of those books were actually screenplays that I kind of reverse engineered into novels. So that also took some time, because you can't just transcribe, the screenplay into the novel. That doesn't work like that. But so yeah, I would say about a year and a half for each project.
So you have follow through and you stay with something, and it sounds like you don't give up. I mean, now you have how many feature scripts completed?
Oh wow. I've written, to be honest with you, I've written so many features I've lost count. This is from high school until now. I wrote my first feature, and it wasn't good, but I wrote my first feature when I was a senior in high school. And by the time I got to college, I'd written my second feature. And then in college, screenwriting was my concentration. So I, hammered out several features in college. So I really can't tell you how many I've lost count, to be honest. And I'm talking about completed features. I'm not talking about, anything that may have been abandoned. But in moving out here, I decided to start over. And so I've written 5 features in the time that I decided to move out here to now. So I came out here with 3, and I've written 2 since I've been here.
What does that mean, start over?
I don't think that the work that I'd written prior to my moving out here was up to par. Not to say it was bad. I just think that I've improved. I personally think that I've improved so much as a screenwriter that previous work would have to be heavily rewritten before I showed it to anyone. Whereas the scripts that I came out here with and that I've written since, I strongly believe in.
What would cause you to abandon a screenplay in the middle of it, toward the end?
If it's not working, then I would get rid of it. If I just didn't feel it, if there was no joy, because I think that the joy of writing comes across. One of the managers I spoke with that's read Potter's Field, he told me he thought it was a lot of fun, and the reason he thought it was fun is he could tell that I was having fun writing it. So if I lose that, then I'd probably abandon the script. But that hasn't happened often. I do remember one time abandoning a script, and it was just my fault because I didn't really plot the story. I mean, the story was outlined, full story, even to this day, it's in my head, and but it wasn't fun to write, and the story wasn't there, So it was time to let it go. I think I stopped writing it 70 pages in, but I had to let it go. Yeah.
Okay, so it just felt like something wasn't catching.
Right.
Oh, it's almost like you're putting the car in first and then you're gonna put it in second, and it's not, the clutch isn't, it's not working.
It's not, yeah, exactly. Yeah.